Welcome back to episode 104 of the ATD Baseball Podcast. It is Thanksgiving week. Uh, if you are listening to this, I hope you're listening to this because I've been in this boat sometimes. Where you're at a big Thanksgiving or Christmas Day feast or gathering, and you just need a couple minutes just to be by yourself for a couple minutes. You need a cup. Maybe you gotta go take a dump, or you're just going for a walk or something. You need like those 10 to 15 minutes to just kind of let me get my back in my own thoughts again before I go back in for a second plate or whatever. Hopefully, you're listening to us and getting your latest update on the baseball news because it's Thanksgiving week. At the end, we will be doing what we are thankful for. It's open to anything. It doesn't have to be baseball. It could be personal stuff in your life. It doesn't have to be. But my whole life is based on sports, so you're probably going to hear a lot of it. Before we get into stuff that we want to talk about today, because there is stuff, surprisingly. Kyle, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Yeah, obviously this baseball off season. I mean, it's always hard for everybody. It's not necessarily the quickest thing in the world, but like you said, we do have things to talk about. Other than that, man, I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I showed them to you right before I press record here. I'm sorry, I have to show them. So for those of you that don't know, Tops makes the baseball cards, and I didn't discover this until this year. Probably shame on me for not noticing sooner. I'm a big baseball card guy. I like them. Uh, I have been collecting a lot of Tops Now moments throughout the 2024 Dodgers season, and I just got the final ones today from Game 5 of the World Series when they clinched. I got Walker Buehler right here. I like that one. I like it. I like it. Hopefully, I can get him signed one day. Freddie Freeman, MVP of the World Series. I like that. Uh, Mookie Betts doing what he's supposed to do, put the ball in play to make it 7-6. Blake Trinan, who cares, his arm's about to fall off, still able to get a couple big outs in that Game 5. America's closer. And then, of course, the team celebration. So that's it. I'm doing great. I got the cards, my final cards of the year, I think. And I teased this to Kyle before we press record it. Next Monday, I will be joined I will have a special guest with me. It's not a person. That's all I'm gonna say. But I will be joined by someone special a week from today. I promise you that. I will have it with me and I'll bring it and show it to everybody. I don't think Kyle's gonna like it, but
Probably
uh,
not.
I'll do the best I can not to. I mean, I think I've done a pretty good job, and you can tell me if I'm wrong or not. Ever
You
since this
definitely have.
World Series has ended, I have done a good job of not rubbing it in your face because
You
you're
have.
not that type of person. Now listen, if you were a crazy, loud, obnoxious Yankee fan, oh, don't get me wrong, or if I was a, if we had people that are in our comment section all the time, hoping the Dodgers would lose all the damn time, I would be rubbing it in their faces if they were right here in front of us. But because Kyle's a nice guy, he doesn't do that. He's very gracious. He's a good loser, and he's not a sore loser. He's a good loser, and he's a good winner. So,
Thank you.
I think it would have been vice versa. Had the Yankees won that series, I don't think you would have been coming in here. Fucking Dodgers suck. Stuff like that. I don't think you would have been doing that, and I haven't done that with Kyle, and I won't. But just I don't think you're gonna like it next week. But
All good.
that's why I'm giving you a heads up now.
Of course.
Okay. Now that we got that little stuff out of the way, the things that we're gonna discuss today, we're just gonna take a brief time, because last week we were at the beginning of awards week. We only did the rookie of the year. They announced the manager of the year, the signing awards, and the MVPs. So we'll just briefly touch on that. And then we're going to talk about Kikuchi signing today. That really helped a lot with what we were going to talk about today. And the Angels, very quietly, listen, it's very early. We still have like 75% of the offseason left. But very quietly, the Angels are spending some dough and they're making changes to their roster. So there you go. And then we're gonna touch on the trade that broke last week. I think it was Thursday or Friday again. The Jonathan India Brady Singer Reds Royals trade. And then lastly, we're just going to touch on things that we're grateful for. It is Thanksgiving week, and it is a time of reflection and just to share things that you're grateful for. So we'll touch on all of that.
Of course, it's this season, man, right?
It is, yes. All right, let's just start it off right here. Like I said, this hopefully won't be this too long. Um, the final awards were announced last week, but more specifically, Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani both won their MVPs unanimously. Now, listen, I didn't think Shohei Ohtani was going to win the MVP unanimously. I figured, and I knew he would win, but I thought they would give Lindor some first place votes, which is, good thing Twitter's not up to the voting process because they would have gave it to Lindor. And then Aaron Judge, unanimous as well. Second straight season, I believe, where he's won it unanimously, I think. Or no. 2 out of 3 because he wasn't healthy last year.
Hmm.
Yeah, so crazy. Just quickly, just reflect on Aaron Judge's 2024 season. It sucks because you know, MVP is a regular season award, and then you look at it in the comment section like, well, what happened in the last game? Could drop the ball. That's like, dude, it's a regular season award. It's not postseason is not included in this.
Yeah,
Enjoy the regular season for a second. But Kyle, you can go ahead and give praise to Aaron Judge as you should.
of course. Yeah, he had another phenomenal season. Obviously, it did not translate over to the postseason, but hey, we're reflecting on the regular season right now. He flirted with 62 again. I'm not sure really. Like, I don't think people grasp the severity of that, right? Like, we're in an era of baseball where we're not seeing guys hitting 70 homers anymore. And there was a while there where we didn't see guys hitting 50. And ever since Judge came up, he's been that kind of guy who does that. But in the last couple of years, he's kind of expanded his game. He turned into an elite defender, and then he hits for contact now too. Um, so obviously, as a Yankee fan, it's even better for me. But as a baseball fan, it's a joy to watch these guys, both him and Otani. And yeah, obviously they gave the right award to both guys. Judge hit 322 on the year, and then he hit 58 homers. I mean, I'm not sure what more you can ask out of a guy, except for the producing the postseason. But that's a conversation for another day. So yeah, no, he brought it home, and he deserves it. It was very shocking that he won it unanimously, because that's where I thought Bobby Witt would come in and obviously get some votes and what he's done down there in Kansas City. Um, yeah, but yeah, Judge brings it home again. Should be number 3, but it's number 2. So well, I'll take it.
And on the National League side, of course, Shohei Ohtani, third MVP, first in the National League. Again, I was surprised and shocked when I found out that it was unanimous because, like I said, I felt some of the East Coast media or people who submit these votes, I thought there was going to be one or two or a couple that would give Lindor a first place vote,
Yeah,
But um, like I said, I mentioned it last week. You're going to have to do some crazy stuff if you want to take the MVP trophy away from Ohtani in the National League. Um, again, it seems like every year it's Judge and Ohtani. That's what
yep,
it's been like the last couple of years. It's Judge and Ohtani, and I think
hmm
you're going to continue to see that, especially now that Ohtani's out of the way in the American League, and you know, barring both guys stay healthy, which thankfully so far they have.
yeah,
They're going to be at worst they're going to be finalists every
mhm,
single year. They're going to put themselves in the conversation to win the MVP. So, um, dream season. Otani won basically every award you can,
yeah,
except NLCS World Series MVP. But 50-50. You know, Silver Slugger. Broke the all-time home run record held by a Japanese-born player. All that stuff. And this is only year one of 9. I think if you're the Dodgers, it was the perfect dream season for both sides Otani because remember, not only is there the player Otani, there's the marketing Otani.
yep,
And of course, we've seen, I'm sure I've been looking at Forbes and stuff. They have made so much money off of Shohei Ohtani already, the Dodgers, and it's going to continue to grow for these next 9 years. So not only did you get production on the field, the Dodgers are raking in cash off the field with this guy wearing their uniform every single night. So
Yep.
it's a win-win for everybody. The Guggenheim Group who signed him, a win. Shohei Ohtani quickly making himself one of the greatest players of all time. It really hit me. And listen, I've told myself this throughout the year, but now he has the ring and the MVP trophy to really cement it. We've got the best player in the world, and he plays in Dodger Blue, and he plays in the greatest city in the world, at the greatest stadium in the world. We've got him, Shohei Ohtani, and he did that this year in year one. World Series champion, MVP, the whole shebang. So congratulations once again. And hopefully he can do it again next year because he's going to pitch.
Yep.
Go win the Cy Young. Go win the Cy Young. I don't know why I'm saying like, oh yeah, I've done this 1,000 times. But I do the Cy Young. So, but I would like to see that.
Yeah.
And I think he wants to do that too. Hey, I've gotten my MVPs. I've done 50-50. Let me go win a Cy Young. Let me go do that. We'll see. Hopefully we'll see. Congratulations to all the winners. I know some people are not happy with the NL Manager of the Year, but
No.
no.
Mm.
Yeah, I for those of you that don't know, Kyle's mom is a big Mets fan. I don't think she was happy when she found that news out the other night.
No, and I mean, for me personally, Mendoza's a guy who, he not only
Right.
because my mom's a Mets fan, Mendoza came from the other side of New York before going over to Queens, and me personally, I just felt like he deserved that award more than anybody. That was definitely the one that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Um, yeah, no, I didn't like that at all. But yet again, at the end of the day, the one that I care about was MVP, and my guy brought it home. So. That's what mattered to me.
There you go. All right. Now let's get to more recent stuff. We'll start in Anaheim, not Los Angeles, the Anaheim Angels. Again, you're going to hear me say that again. Angels are spending some money. They are spending some money. Their big signing today was Kikuchi.
Yeah.
Again, forgive me for not knowing his first name. I think it's
You say Kikuchi.
yeah, you say Kikuchi. Okay, he signed to a 3-year deal. Um, I think it was somewhere in like I think it was 63 million. I think that's what it was,
I do
something like
believe
that.
it was, yeah.
Um, and
3
they're
years.
spending. There you go. And they're spending money. They got Travis d'Arnaud, Kyle Hendricks, Jorge Soler, Kevin Newman, and they've added $40 million in payroll.
Brings them
And
to a total of $112 million overall spent this offseason.
listen, I'll go first just because the Angels they are close to me, kinda, but
Hmm.
we share Southern California with that other team. Good for them. Good for them. I think they're starting to finally realize, like, hey, we got to spend some money here. Like, you can. It, I know a lot of people probably don't like that baseball's heading in this direction, or we're already in that direction,
Hmm.
but it is kind of pay to win. It is like you can develop guys all you want, but and the Angels haven't been horrible at developing players. They haven't. You've seen Taylor Ward, you've seen Luis Renivo, you've seen guys come through their farm system that have developed, but they haven't hit on a lot of them. Um, and so, what do you do when you can't really develop? You spend, and that's what they're doing. So good for them. Again, they're the Angels. I can't give them the benefit of the doubt that all this money that they spend, because I don't think they're done. They're probably going to be in on some of the other big key starting pitchers and free agents, but um, this is a good start. This is a good start. Um, they still have a lot of work to do, but um, if you're an Angel fan, you gotta be at least excited. Like, hey, we're spending some money, and the AL West is not. It's not that crazy. It really isn't. Like, whoever. Well, I forget who the division winner. Houston. They were only like a 90 win team. Like, it's not going to take a lot of wins to get this division. And you look around the landscape of other things. The A's are no good. You're the Angels. You're trying to improve and spend money. The Mariners seem they can't get out of their own way. They can't get to that level of postseason consistency. And the Rangers are completely happy with winning their World Series in 2023, and they're going to shed some payroll this offseason. So, and Houston's Houston. Like, they're the
They're always
class of
going
the
to.
division, obviously.
Yeah.
Right. So I like what the Angels are doing. I need to see more, and I need to see more production out of the guys that they currently have right now on the roster. I'm not talking about the guys that they signed because I kind of know what I'm going to get out of some of them, but I need to see some guys on the roster improve. And I think you'll start to see that a little bit. But if you're an Angels fan, listen, Artie Moreno gets a bad rap because not a bad rap. He's cheap. He is. He's cheap. Doesn't want to spend money. Doesn't want to make the team better, and he kind of gets in the way of the decision makings. Or when he does spend the money, it's on wrong players at the wrong points in their career. Um, but they've made some decent moves here. And another thing too, if Kikuchi is getting 3 years, 63 million, what are some of these other guys going to get?
I was going to say that.
That's the thing that I'm. That's the thing that I'm. That was the first thing when I saw the year and the number. Like, wow, okay. And what is um, what is Blake Snell? What is Corbin Burns? What are they going to get if Kikuchi's getting 63 million for 3 years? So we'll see. But to top it all off, so far so good for the Angels. I'm not going to clown them like I always do. Like, they're making improvements to their roster, and that's what they're supposed to be doing. So good for them.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. This Angels team, man, like it seems like the same song and dance every single year with them, right? And you kind of hit on it. They're signing guys at the wrong points of their career. That seems to be the age-old additive that when like if you think of the Angels, that's what happens. And
Pujols, Rendon, Hamilton.
some of these guys kind of remind me of that. Kikuchi isn't what he once was, obviously. Kyle Hendricks certainly isn't. And Jorge Soler, we haven't really seen him kind of pan out the way we thought he would in San Francisco. And then obviously Travis Darno. I love Travis Darno. I think he's a solid catcher, but obviously it's not like that wow factor in that lineup, right? I think it's just the same thing with the Angels. These as I'm looking at all the Angels acquisitions this offseason, it screams Angels. But at the same time, it's like I can't be mad at them, you know? They're going out
Yeah.
there and they're trying to make improvements. They're doing what they can. So, obviously I like that, but when it comes down to it, I don't know if any of these acquisitions are going to be a a big move for them. I think they need to start banking on, and we kind of touched on it, the development of these players. They develop Brandon Marsh. He's one that I always go to.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's out in Philadelphia now, but I think Mickey Moniak and Logan O'Hoppe can be big pieces for them. Zach Nito, he's starting to come around a little bit more. You touched on Luis Rengifo. Um,
Nolan
Taylor Ford.
Shonowell.
Yeah, these guys could very easily be difference makers in that lineup, but it seems like they're just not quite there yet. And then when they hit the free agent market, they're signing these guys to either overpays or they're bringing in guys at the wrong points of their career, and that's what this reminds me of over and over again. But at the same time, I could be totally wrong. I love that they're addressing the starting rotation. That is a huge, huge improvement that they need to make. And then they're adding bats to the lineup. Veteran guys who Jorge Soler, he can easily give you 30 homers a year. But we haven't seen that quite yet. And that's what we go back to when we talk about the Angels because they're grabbing onto some of these guys who we feel are like, okay, yeah, a few years ago this would have been a great move. Um, but hey, at the end of the day, you don't know where it's going to pan out at. And good for them. They're spending money and they're trying to improve where they can. That's the biggest thing. And you kind of hit on it too. Like we are getting in that direction where, like you said, you say Kikuchi just got $63 million on the open market. What in the hell is Corbin Burns going to look like? Or like you said, Blake Snell and some of these other pitchers on the market? Because we're talking like Kikuchi is way past his prime and we're not going to see much out of him, but he can very easily improve this rotation for the Angels. But if he's getting paid that kind of money, who the hell knows what these other guys are going to get? It's insane. But yeah, at the end of the day, good for them, and I hope it works out for them. But I think that development of those players is a tad bit more important than what they can get on the open market.
And if you're the Angels, and listen, I don't want to start burying their grave now, but if these don't work out, they're easily tradable pieces at the
Yeah,
deadline.
yeah,
Soler, even Kikuchi, even the money that he's going to be making the next couple years, that's still a movable contract
hmm
for a middle of the rotation type of piece. I don't think Darno's going anywhere because I think they brought him in just for Ohapi,
yeah.
just so he can learn from a veteran catcher. So
He's
I
a
think
good one.
that's why they did. Right, he is, and he's a good one to learn from. So, but I don't think Hendricks is. I think you're stuck there, buddy. Sorry, but everyone else is. They're tradable assets if the Angels are out of it by the deadline. Hopefully, they don't make the mistake like last year where they still had a couple guys they could have traded, but
Yeah,
chose not to. But yeah, you can't fault the Angels. Like they're trying to make improvements, but um, I will tell you one thing: this if I've seen the Angels add 112 to their payroll next year, that makes me believe that they're going to be in on some of these pitchers,
yeah.
the big fish. That's the thing that I'm worried about. They might not get Snell or Burns or Freed, any of these guys, but they could drive that price up for these other teams that are interested. So, um, we'll see. But so far, so good for the Angels. We'll see how the rest of it turns out, though. Still early. Still early. Um, moving on. Um, Jonathan India, Brady Singer. They were teammates in college, and now they're swapping teams. Singer going to the Reds, and Jonathan India going to the Royals. To me, this was a good trade for both sides,
Yeah.
helping needs that they both need. Need another bat in there for the Royals. You can hit him, and you can hit Jonathan India in front or behind Bobby Witt Jr. And for the Reds, you need pitching. You need pitching. Go along there with Hunter Green and some of the other guys there. So um, immediately when I saw this trade, I thought it was a win-win for both sides, which is rare because usually when teams make trades, there's clearly most of the time there's a clear winner and a clear loser. But I don't feel that. I don't feel this way with this trade. I like it for both sides.
Yeah, that was definitely where my mind went as well. And it feels like we've been talking about Jonathan India being on the move for years now.
Yep.
I feel like they've been trying to move him for quite some time, and they finally did. And Jonathan India is no pushover either. I think this guy's a very, very solid middle infielder. Um, yeah, and he has shown flashes to where he can get. And I feel like in a place like Kansas City, he's kind of going to like an equal situation almost. But I feel like Kansas City has a little bit more star power surrounding him now. And maybe like a change of scenery can very easily get him back up to a solid hitter. And he's always been a solid defender. That's always been something you can pencil in the middle infield, and you know what you're getting out of Jonathan India. Now, switching over to the red side of things, you you kind of like need pitching. The Reds have had Hunter Green at the top of that rotation, but they haven't been able to solidify the rest of it. And Brady Singer is a he showed flashes to what he can be. And this is a very even trade in my mind. Both the Royals and the Reds are addressing needs here. And I think Brady Singer became expendable when you saw what you got out of your veteran staff as well as like Cole Reagan's, guys like that who are coming up and making an impact. And the Royals have shown that they can develop players. They have shown that they are a young team and they're putting pieces around Bobby Witt Jr., who they developed. Um, so obviously, I mean, I think they could still do it with Jonathan India too. I feel like there's a level to Jonathan India that we haven't seen yet, and I think Kansas City might be a good place for him to get there. And Brady Singer too. You know, I believe he's had 2 down years in a row now. Believe he was around like mid three ERA. I think he was around like 3.50 last year. Um, he's solid. You know, I mean, he's going into a change of scenery. He's going into Cincinnati where they develop young guys too. You know, that's why I said like this is a very equal situation for both of these guys who are going into a new clubhouse, but yet both teams are still very young and they just haven't reached their potential yet. So I think it's a very even trade. If I had to give you a winner, I would have to say the Royals. I think that bat of Jonathan India is just a tad bit more valuable than what Brady Singer can give you, especially in Kansas City. It just seemed like the two sides just kind of just got to the point where we can't give each other anything else. So why not take you to a place where you can? And I feel like that's what they did with Brady Singer. Um, so like I said, if I had to give a winner, I'm gonna have to go the Royals here. Um, I definitely think Jonathan India can reach that next level, and I think paired with a guy like Bobby Witt, and obviously you got some other guys in there too. You have Salvi, you got Pascantino, and they're slowly just building that team up. And I think India was a phenomenal move for them.
The Reds rotation next year is expected to be Hunter Green, Nick Loletto, Nick Martinez, Andrew Abbott, and Brady Singer. It's not bad.
It's
It's
not,
not
and
bad.
you still have a guy like Graham Ashcraft who can very
Yeah.
easily come up and give you those innings as well. So, like I said, I think it worked out for the Reds because they are addressing a need. Um, but I think the Royals addressed a need that was just a tad bit more than what the Reds needed.
Yep. I agree. That was before Kikuchi and some of these other moves. That was the trade that got everybody like, oh, here we go. The stove is hot. Here we go. Players are moving.
It
And
was,
obviously, right.
yeah, it was because it wasn't like a under the radar kind of move. Like that was a big move in Major
Wasn't
League Baseball.
prospects. Two prospects for a swap.
It was two everyday players who are going to make immediate impacts on the teams that they're going to. And I don't know. I love the trade. I love to see it. And I finally we don't need to worry about Jonathan India getting moved in the offseason. It
Yeah.
finally happened, and now he's on his way to Kansas City.
Yep. Yep. Uh, all right. I think we covered the things that we wanted to. Right. We don't have one more before we get to the Thanksgiving stuff. I think that's it, right?
I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, now let's get to some more. Let's get to the fun stuff here, real quick. Obviously, it is Thanksgiving, the week of. If you're listening to this, it's Tuesday morning. Um, whoever you want to just throw something out, what you're thankful
Yeah, you
for
know what?
this, for this. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to be baseball. It can be anything. It can be anything. But
Let's well, first thing that comes to mind, it's because it's so damn new. Let's go to another sport. Let's go to football. I'm thankful Daniel Jones is no longer my quarterback. Let's put it. Let's go there quick. Yeah,
yeah.
obviously,
Okay.
obviously his time in New York is done. As for his release, oh man, it was like Christmas morning. Came early this year.
Yep. Uh, sports. Before we really get into the baseball, thankful for the Packers. Thankful for the Packers. Yeah, I'm thankful for the Lakers and Kings too. They're not doing terrible. I didn't like the Lakers got their ass kicked again by the Nuggets on Saturday, but The Kings off to a good start. Nobody really expected them to be kind of this good this early. They're currently in, I believe they're in second place still in the Pacific Division. Yep, no, they're in third place now. But nobody expected them to be this good. I'm not gonna say I'm thankful for USC because they completely sucked this year. I don't care that you beat UCLA and LSU. They're 5-6, and they're gonna finish 6-6 because Notre Dame is not losing on Saturday. I can promise you that. A playoff spot on the
Hey,
line, they're
hey,
not gonna lose. They're not gonna lose. So, um, another
tell
thing
them
I'm
from
thankful.
here.
Yeah, after you had that horrible loss at home to that team that didn't even from the beginning didn't even look like they belong on the same field with Notre Dame, and then they won. So
Funny the way
12
that
team
works out.
playoff, 20 to 12 team playoff. Everybody gets in now. No, I'm just kidding. I wish we were part of that. Um, I get another thing I'm thankful for. Um, my brother came. My brother made it home safely Saturday.
Love it.
Couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep Saturday. None of us could. Now, part of it was because I didn't shower that night. Disgusting mother. So I was tossing and turning all night. And then he had an early flight. So he left like his plane took off like at 6:30 in the morning Minnesota time. So it was 4:30 our time, 2 hour difference. So
Mm.
really couldn't sleep that whole night. And then he had to take like a 2.5 hour bus ride just to get to the airport from his school. So yeah. So I'm glad he's here for the week. He surprised my grandma and stuff. You know, she was crying. We didn't tell them that he was coming. So so they
Those are
thought
the
that he'd
best.
be exactly. So I'm thankful for that. Thankful for my family. You know, they've given me a good life to this point. Obviously, it's going to continue. I'm not saying they're just going to stop right now, but thankful for them. Really am. Really appreciate it. And then yeah, and then once Kyle, you say what else, then I'm gonna get into the baseball stuff.
All right. Yeah, we'll stick on the personal train. Obviously, it's been wild this year, man. Bought a house, got married, so very thankful for my amazing wife, nonetheless.
Mansion.
Yes, yes, we'll say that. And then last but not least, Mello, thankful for you, man.
Oh yes,
We'll
yes,
we'll have to we'll have that heart to heart real quick. Obviously, ATD,
yes.
the whole 9 yards. Yeah, it's been a wild ride. Obviously, it's gonna continue. No plans on stopping,
No,
but gotta throw that out there. Just take a step back.
yeah. Thankful for you too, man. Like this was not this is we'll probably do this again for New Year's, but
Oh, of
um
course.
yeah, it we went through some stuff outside of the ATD earlier this year. You
Yeah,
know, some changes, some things, and uh, we adjusted. And I think we did along with your brother too. I'm very thankful for your brother too
of
because
course. Yes.
he's not on the podcast. I know he's been on a couple times, but behind the scenes, behind the camera, he's doing a lot of stuff for us. So I
Yeah,
appreciate both of you
of
for
course.
continuing to do this and continuing to put your best effort every single day. I appreciate
Always, man. You're gonna see. Look, getting the waterworks going. How about it?
that. Yeah. Um. Okay. Now to the baseball. First of all, thankful for the Dodgers. Had they lost this year, I would have jumped off the roof of my house. Seriously. After spending over $1 billion last off season, if they couldn't win it this year, I might not be here today. Might not be here standing talking to you today. But um, thankful for Shohei Ohtani making the right decision, not staying in Anaheim, not going to Toronto, coming here, winning everything. Mookie Betts remembering how to hit in the postseason, that was good. Freddie Freeman becoming an LA hero, I'm thankful for him. Uh, Listen, I'm thankful for everybody who wore the Dodger uniform last year. Even if you weren't on the team or the roster, I appreciate you. Like Ryan Yarbrough, he got traded. I appreciate his services. James Paxton, I appreciate his services. There were some times where we needed to throw somebody out there, and we had them. So thankful for Dave Roberts for not fucking it up. There was a couple times where I got a little nervous for him, like, oh, is he gonna do the same thing like he did all along? Mess this up. Didn't do that this time. And I probably should have said this on the personal side, but shout out and I'm thankful for all my coworkers that I've had the same crew working at Dodger Stadium for the last 3 years. I love them. They're literally like my second family. We're all one big happy family. I haven't seen them in a month just because the Dodger season's been over and there's been no reason. They've had no concerts or anything at Dodger Stadium, so I haven't seen them, and I'm not gonna see them until most of them. I see some of my guys. Shout out Brian. Shout out Lewis. Shout out Freddie. I see them. Shout out Daniel too. And Pedro. Shout out to those guys. I see them at Staples at Crypto because they work as ushers. So I see them when I go to my Kings game. But everybody else, I don't see them until March. So thankful for them. Hopefully they have a great Thanksgiving. I love them. I appreciate them, and I can't wait to see them again next spring, where we can get ready for another season. But I'll be crying that day because I'll be watching a banner ceremony and guys get their rings. So
Of course.
yeah, uh, yeah. Thankful for the Dodgers. Like I said, they made me happy this year, which usually they don't do. They do during the regular season, but then the October month rolls around and then they're put me right back in my misery again. They make me depressed almost, but they didn't do that this year, so that's good. I'm thankful for that. They didn't put me in a sane asylum.
Yeah, I mean, I could pretty much say the opposite of what you just said. But yeah, no, I mean, obviously Aaron Judge is up there, my captain, of course. I would say Juan Soto, but jury's still out on that one.
Pending.
Pending thankful for Juan Soto, of course. But yeah, no, obviously Yankees baseball and baseball as a whole, Obviously we wouldn't be doing this without baseball, so
Yeah,
means a lot.
that does. I'm trying to think of other things non Dodgers related. I'm trying to think. Like thankful for the Padres for forgetting how to hit after game 3. 24 scoreless innings. Fantastic. Uh
Another big one that I could say is probably the credentialed media, whoever the hell picks out who gets credentials. I'm thankful for you guys every once in a while.
yeah. Well, they're pending too. Are we going
They
to
are.
winter meetings or not? Seriously, like I've been waiting for like a month. Like, are we going or
Yeah,
not? Just tell us if we're not.
yeah. At least the ones up in Cooperstown, we can always be thankful for them.
Oh yes, yes. Thankful to Cooperstown for giving us credentials for this. My third year. I didn't go the first year, but for
Yeah,
both of us 2 years together. Hopefully we get it again next year because
yeah.
Ichiro's coming. So
Excited for that one.
yes. Uh, what else in the baseball world?
Commissioner Rob, man. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, yeah. Let's not. Hey, thankful he decided to step down in 4 years. Let's how about that? Yeah.
Yes, that I
Came to his
will agree with.
senses. Came to his senses. Yeah. But anyways, also too, probably should have mentioned this off the top.
Yeah,
Thankful to our followers.
yes.
Thankful to our
Save the best for
followers.
last. That's what we're going.
Yes, best for last. Thankful. We both and your brother included are very thankful and very happy and grateful for our followers.
Mhm.
Like obviously like if you're not there liking our stuff or commenting on our stuff, it makes it hard to put stuff out. But because you guys are so engaging, you guys are, liking our stuff, interacting with it, sometimes even sharing it with other people, which we appreciate that a lot. Hopefully you can continue to do that. Hopefully you can continue to stay following our page and listening to this podcast. If you do, we appreciate it. Really, seriously. We honestly don't say that enough.
Yeah, true.
And there have been a couple rough patches this season where we've actually been losing followers more than gaining them, but
Mhm.
it's gone back up again, and I appreciate that a lot. I really do. You don't know how much it keeps me up at night when I'm looking at those numbers and they're declining.
100%. And obviously too, I mean, big picture here, if it wasn't for that for you guys, it's
Yeah,
a a big thing is our name, like it's got to mean something to be able to do what we do on the trips and continue to push out the content and things like that because that's what's first level here. The extra stuff comes with it. Yeah, it's great. And of course, like we love it, but at the same time, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be able to. So, very thankful for you guys.
Absolutely. I think that's gonna do it for episode 104.
I believe so.
Enjoy your Thanksgiving. If you do still shop, enjoy your Black Friday, and if you do enjoy Cyber Monday too, why not? Uh,
Of course.
holidays are here. Holidays are here. Hopefully, you enjoy time with your family this week. Kyle, enjoy. You're hosting Thanksgiving for the first time. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Save me a plate.
Yes, of course. The missus is a little bit more stressed about that than I am, but hey,
Yeah,
it comes with the territory, I guess.
that's the last thing she needs on her plate.
That is
Oh, I
true.
got to do all this stuff. Oh yeah, hey, save Melo a plate. What? That's what are you talking about? Yeah,
I,
save me
I'll,
a plate.
I'll make
Hey.
sure to tell her that you're flying out for Thanksgiving.
Oh man, I imagine.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Enjoy the holiday. Watch a lot of football. Well, not really. The games are shit this year. Um,
Giants are on.
I might skip that one.
Games are
I might
shit.
skip
Yeah.
that. Packers are playing though. Beat up
Hey,
on the Dolphins. So you can watch that game at night. Yeah. So like I said, enjoy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy everything. Eat as much as you want. Look at me. I eat pretty good. So uh, hopefully you get as big as me by next week. We'll see you in a week. Adios.